thank you for joining us. We're back here at Croydon College this afternoon, continuing our series of webinars where we'll be helping you to understand what apprenticeship you might want to consider moving forward. This is the third of these webinars that we've held this week. On Tuesday we held two. We talked about construction and engineering, and we talked about entering the hospitality and leisure sector. And all this week, today we have two. We have this one, and then we're moving on straight after this one to talk about IT and digital. And then tomorrow afternoon, we're talking about entering into a higher level teaching qualification. So there really is something for everyone this afternoon and all through this week. And as I say, Croydon College are here to help you understand how you might be able to come to be an apprentice. Now, I have a great group of people with me again this afternoon that are going to talk to you about their experiences from their business's perspective. I just want to introduce them to you. With me today, I have once again John McLean, who is the head of apprenticeships here at Croydon College. Also with me is Angela Entwistle. Angela is from Clarion Housing, Clarion Futures, and she'll be talking to us. We have Anya from PPF, a Croydon-based company, and we also have Sharon from PPF2, Pension Protection Fund, and they'll be talking to us about the vacancies that the Pension Protection Fund have available at the moment. We'll then be moving on to hear from Gail from Croydon College, and also Lashanda, and they'll be able to tell you a little bit about the process, what you actually have to go through to become an apprentice, and how you can actually apply. So hopefully by the end of the hour, we'll have given you enough information for you to be able to take that next step. I want to enable anyone who's watching live with us this afternoon to be able to talk to us. This is very much an opportunity for you to put your questions and queries directly to the people that can give you the answers. So you don't have to wait on the end of a phone or wait for an email back. You can actually put your question live here and now. And just to tell you how you can do that with us this afternoon, first of all, you have a Q&A function at the bottom of your screen, and that Q&A function will enable you to type your question. I can then ask that question to the panelists on your behalf. So you can be completely anonymous. It doesn't matter what the question is. If appropriate, I will ask the question on your behalf. So please don't be shy. Please feel free to ask anything that you think you need to know about apprentices. This is your opportunity. We also have a chat function, and the chat function will enable us to talk to you and you to talk to us. So again, if you have a question that maybe you don't want to put in the Q&A, you just want to make a comment, you can use that chat function, and our panelists can answer you directly via that facility as well. Now, before we start this afternoon, we thought it might be worthwhile just picking up on the announcements that the Chancellor made yesterday evening around the changes to the apprenticeship scheme, all obviously in response to the current COVID-19 situation, and ways to encourage businesses to bring more apprentices into their businesses, but also more ways of encouraging young people and older people to join the apprenticeship program. So just as a sort of start of a 10, John, you would have seen almost immediately, I think, a renewed interest. Is that what you found overnight?
Oh, it's practically been immediate, yes. Lashanda, who's here with us, she's received, I think, just over 40 inquiries and 40 new applications since last night. I think it's going to do apprenticeships a power of good.
Great. From Clarion's point of view, I know, Angela, we were talking just before we came live on air. What do you think that's going to do for your business?
I mean, for us, we're a really large organisation anyway, so taking on apprentices cost shouldn't be a concern, but cost cutting. We've had managers come back to us going, actually, with that could then actually help with budgetary considerations. So I think it just has opened up the eyes of managers to take on apprentices, because there's no reason not to with the financial implications there. Yeah, exactly. So I think it's absolutely brilliant. It's going to be the best 6 months to get an apprenticeship, I think.
Right. So hopefully this afternoon and on the other webinars that we're running this week, all of which are available on the Croydon College website for you to watch once at your own leisure. So if you've missed any of the webinars that we've currently run this week, you can go online and have a look at those. And what we want to try and do, as I say this afternoon, is really empower you to understand how you can benefit from being an apprentice in association with Croydon College and the businesses that we have with us today. So as a starter for 10, I'm going to invite John to talk to us about the whole process of becoming an apprentice. Some people might think it's complicated, and I guess if you're on the outside, John, that is what you might feel. But the reality is that it is nothing to be worried about. So I am going to just open up my screen now so that you can actually see the presentation. Bear with me 1 second. Okay, so John, perhaps you could talk to us about the apprenticeship scheme at Croydon College.
Sure. Hi everyone, as Catherine said, I'm John McLean. I'm Head of Apprenticeships at Croydon College, and hopefully I'll give you a brief overview of what that will cover. Who an apprenticeship is for, dispel some rumours, basic eligibility, and hopefully provide some advice through Q&A at the end of the session. Could I have the first slide, please, Catherine?
I think I'm there. I can see it. Can you not see it?
No, I can't see it, I'm afraid.
Ah, that's the problem.
I could probably do it from memory, though.
Oh, no, don't worry. Can everyone else see it? Can you just give me a thumbs up if you can see it? So, okay, everyone else can see it. Okay. Well, the first slide, John, is what is an apprentice?
Oh, it's a role-based learning, and it's really centered around that specific role. Everything that you can learn from that whilst you're being paid.
Okay.
Is it the next slide? You'd be as well reading it out for me. I'm doing it blind.
So, John, it's an apprenticeship. It allows you to gain technical and functional knowledge, as well as accredited real practical experience.
Yes, yes. So what I would like to point out at this stage, well, I can't say it, I'd like to emphasise that apprenticeships just aren't for young people anymore. Since we've had the standards the last 2 or 3 years, apprenticeships can be accessed by anybody from 16 to 64, and from any background and across all levels, right from entry level right the way through to degree. Okay, and they can last, and you can you can be a new entrant into that company, or you can be an existing employee, and maybe if you were a level 2 accountant, you can upskill to a level 3 or a level 5, etc.
Okay, it's I suppose getting rid of some of those myths. Then you can be any age. You don't have to have any particular qualifications, because that's the point of being an apprentice. And then we go on to talk about how, very importantly, apprentices can earn while they learn. Talk a little bit about that, John.
Yes. While you're actually employed by the company on a fixed term contract, which obviously concurrent with the length of the apprenticeship, and whilst you're there, you're paid as any other employee and have all the benefits and rights of what employees do, and you'll have 20% off the job. And what that means is for 20% of the time that you're employed there, you'll maybe come into the college and be with their tutors, and the assessors will also come to see you on site. So keep it a bit simple.
So it is very much a sort of joint collaboration, the college with the local business, supporting with the classroom training, and then the apprentice being on the job as well. So best of both worlds in terms of being in a training scenario and also being in the real world of employment. And John, I know that there's a number of different types of apprenticeships and a number of different roles. So just talk a little bit about the range of roles that maybe are available.
Goodness, yes. So in Croydon itself, we have over 16 workshops in construction and engineering, right the way through to we have the IT suites, creative media, digital, IT, quite a breadth we have. I think we can cater to most businesses.
So I guess this afternoon we're talking specifically in this session about business and finance, but I think it's fair to say that obviously you can do business finance in any organisation probably.
Yes.
And also, you know, it's a specialism in a way, but there are all manner of other subjects. And the next slide, John, does talk about the fact that more than 170 industries covering over 1,500 job roles.
Yes.
And that's 1,500 job roles. This slide was written before the Chancellor made his announcement.
Yes.
So probably double that, hopefully,
Yes.
with all the businesses that are going to come on board following that announcement.
Undoubtedly.
The next slide, John, talks about who they're for. Employers can offer apprenticeships to new entrants, or they can, in fact, use them to grow talent from among their new and current employees.
Yes, and a lot of companies now would like their existing employees who they could be there for anything from 1 year to 20 years, but they like to invest in their existing employees and provide them with new skills.
So I guess, again, you might be watching this because you're already in employment and you're thinking you want to upskill, you want to be able to go to your employer and suggest that maybe they could give you some training to enable you to move to the next level. So by suggesting an apprenticeship program to your employer, that could be accessed that way, and your employer could be given some financial help towards your training.
Very easily, very easily. Yeah.
Okay. Obviously, the focus of an apprenticeship is to equip individuals with the necessary skills and knowledge required for future progression. So, John, well done. Between us, we managed that quite well, considering what you were seeing.
You read my mind.
Yeah, that's right. So, as I mentioned before, we do have our guests with us, our guest panelists with us this afternoon, and we're going to go on to hear from some of them now about the specific vacancies and opportunities that there are. And first of all, I'm going to invite Angela Entwistle from Clarion Futures to talk to us about the roles that she has available. So hi, Angela.
Thank you, Catherine. So if you want to go to the first slide.
Yep.
So Clarion Housing Group, the largest housing association in the UK at the moment, and we have three distinct arms. We've got the housing association side, which branches into our responsive repairs team. We have Latimer, who are our house builders, and then we have Clarion Futures, which is the part of the business I'm from, which is the charitable foundation. So all areas of the business will have, and they do have, business admin roles that are apprenticeships. So it is incredibly flexible, as Catherine said earlier on, that you could do business admin in any type of scenario, which you can. So do you want to go through? So for us, our apprenticeship program is broken down into two, as far as we're concerned, two major elements, as well as you doing your apprenticeship. So the first part is the fast track, which is the recruitment side of it. So if you want to join us for an apprenticeship, you would apply through Croydon or directly through our website. And you would get briefly screened on the telephone. You'll then get invited to an interview, but part of that process is the fast track, which you will spend the day with us in the office with the team that you'll be working with. You'd get a chance to ask the manager questions. You would really prep you for interview with us. So it gives you a real good chance. So when actually you do come in for your interview, it's not a scary situation, and you have seen and met the recruiting manager, which is helpful. So once you're taken on board, you start your apprenticeship and you will be allocated a mentor, and that is somebody that isn't within your team. Next slide, please, Catherine.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
There we go.
So we do various apprenticeships. We do business admin through to quantity surveying. So business admin for us, and finance roles, to be fair, are incredibly important. I think everyone would agree that anyone that says, I'm just administrator, causes me to start getting steam from my ears, because no one is just an administrator. It is the most important role there is in a team. And it's a brilliant founding for us. Brilliant founding for us, because once you have done business admin within a project administrative role within Clarion, you can move variously, whether you want to become a housing officer, it's a or you want to go into surveying, or you want to then go into finance. It's such a pivotal apprenticeship for us. And hopefully, after Rishi's announcement and speaking to some managers this morning, there's going to be quite a few more coming up. Next slide. So our fast track, to prep you for that, it might seem kind of a little bit intimidating, but it's not. It does involve the work placement. We, in conjunction with the training provider, will go through your functional skills assessment. Well, you'll understand the employability and the company ethos, because for us, it is so important. It's not about what you have previously done. It is about your attitude and aptitude. So that's where you'll really kind of understand our values. So they'll find out if they align with you and kind of how you can show off those. We'll also, in the fast track, some of them might embed some accredited and non-accredited training, depending on what the qualification is. Because you've done the fast track, it's a guaranteed interview. And then once you do start with us, we call it an onboarding workshop, where you'll meet all the other apprentices. You'll get eased into your job role a lot easier, but you'll have a lot more contact with us as the apprenticeship team. So the mentoring program, as I said, that you will have a mentor. They, as I said, will be somebody that isn't in your team, and they are normally somebody that has been with the organisation for at least 2 years. And we've also got quite a few requests from ex-apprentices now wanting to be mentors, because they want to be able to pass on their knowledge, which is brilliant. And it's really a chance just to support you. And starting an apprenticeship, whether it's a case of it's a completely different industry and you're reskilling yourself, or it's your first job, or it's your first job after a long time, you need to give you that support. And that's what that mentoring is there for. So for us with Clarion, we have grown the amount of apprentices we have in the business, and I want to keep growing those, because it is so important. It really gives everybody the foundation. So yeah, that's what's on that one. So different types, you'd end up having different types of discussions with us regarding apprenticeships, the level of the apprenticeship, which you would discuss with us and the training provider. And salaries for us within Clarion is all apprenticeships are paying the real living wage. So actually you're on even kill as soon as you start. So that means some of our apprenticeships can start at £20,000, which is unusual for some apprentices, to be fair. So that's it from me.
Great, thank you very much. So you obviously take on a lot of apprentices. I guess a couple of the myths that I think you've dispelled through your quick presentation is gone are the days when an apprenticeship was a way of a company getting sort of some cheap labour in to do, you know, the filing in the corner of the room. How many of your apprentices do actually stay with you and get offered?
We of our apprentices, we have last year 70% of our apprentices all stayed with us, because we've invested that time in you. And if we've seen what we think we see in you, we want to keep you. So, for example, a girl that's based up in Norwich, doing her financial apprenticeship, doing her AAT, she has just been made permanent. She was Apprentice of the Year last year as well, which is brilliant. The apprentice that works in our team is in the process of being made permanent. We want to keep you. We don't want you to go on, unless it's not what you want, but so it's about keeping and growing you. And we've got one of our operational director started as an apprentice back in the day, and she's worked her way up and she's actually currently an apprentice at the moment, which is quite amusing, in financials. And she's grown her career, and it's a chance to really embed yourself.
It is really about a career, and I guess by joining Clarion, you're obviously a large company, you've got a number of offices, although we're specifically talking about business and finance. Really what we're saying is, you know, join Clarion, you may well come in with that foundation, really strong requirement of business and foundation, but you could then go on into specialise into whatever takes your fancy that you may well have come across in the time. What's the average length of an apprenticeship?
So we focus on people coming in. We do level 3, so it's about 18 months.
Right. Okay. So it's a long term commitment.
Yes, completely.
That's great. Thank you very much, Sharon. We'll come at the end to anyone that's watching that might have specific questions. Do put those questions in the Q&A if there's anything that's been said that you are unclear about. We're now going to invite the team from Pension Protection Fund to talk to us. A different company doing a different thing to Clarion, but nevertheless, I know you have a huge requirement for apprenticeships. We're going to ask the rest of the people, our panelists, just to take their screens down for a moment. I think we're coming to you, Anya, first to talk to us.
Wonderful. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Anya Podbereska. I'm here with my colleague Sharon Godfrey. We are both working in a learning and development team at the Pension Protection Fund, in shortcut PPF. And we are here to talk to you about our apprenticeship program. We've got a short presentation that we would like to share with you all. And we are really, really happy for any questions at the end. So let's start first, who we are. So first of all, let me just share some information about the PPF. Our main purpose, in short, is to protect people's pensions and to pay compensations when their employer goes bust. Our main head office is based in Croydon, and we have also a second office in central London. We currently have over 400 employees, and we've been around since 2005. We've grown a lot in that time. And although we have links to the Department at Work and Pensions, DWP, we are not officially a government department. We are something called a public corporation. And what it really means is that in a day-to-day work, we feel very much like financial service type of organization. Now, second slide, please. Why we are here. Why we are here. I guess it's very important to say that before PPF came about, thousands of people would lose their pensions when their employer went bust. In some cases, they had been paying into their pensions through their whole working life. So you can only imagine how devastating the situation must have been for those people. In 2004, the government finally established a legislation in a shape and form of Pension Act. And based on this legislation, the PPF emerged. And ever since, our aim and most important goal for this company is to pay the right people the right amount of money at the right time. Our members are literally in the heart of everything that we do in this company. And on that positive note, I'm going to hand over to my colleague Sharon, who's going to talk to you a little bit more about the apprenticeship journey at the PPF. Over to you, Sharon.
Thank you, Anya. Thank you. So I'm going to talk to you a bit about the types of apprenticeships we have, and also just give you a little bit of background about our apprenticeship journey. So we started our apprenticeship journey back in 2018, and on the slide you can see some of the apprentices we have so far. We are definitely on a smaller scale than the previous company that was talked about, but still it's really important to us that we give people the opportunity to develop as an apprentice. And you can see also from this slide that actually we have a variety of levels, a variety of different areas. So we really kind of take it very seriously as to what kind of apprenticeships we appreciate. And last year, it's good for me to say that we were proud to actually pick up the Apprentice Employer of the Year award at the Croydon Business Awards. So we're very proud of that. There's also some slides here that gives you some information about what some of our apprentices have said. And what I would say really has come through is that they get to do a real job. It's kind of really gets involved in the day-to-day business. It's not just somebody coming in doing a bit of filing. Actually, you do come in and actually get involved in some of those real areas. Catherine, if I could have the next slide, please. Okay, so that's giving you an impression of the things that we have. These are some of the actual kinds of apprenticeships we have coming up. As you can see here, specifically for this presentation, the things that really pop out here are the business administration, and the pensions administrator apprenticeship as well. So I'm not going to go into lots of detail about these different areas, but what I would say, and just really picking up from what Angela said, the business administration apprenticeship is a great way to actually get a good foundation within a business. It covers such different areas, but you'll actually learn some really great key transferable skills that will actually set you up for a fantastic start in any business that you can take anywhere. The pensions administrator apprenticeship, I would say, is a bit more specialist, but if you're looking to actually start a career in a specific area, then I think the pensions administrator is a really great way to go. And with both of these, like I said, both of these areas, you really get a great opportunity to get stuck into real work. Excellent. So I'm going to hand you back over to Anya now, who's just going to talk a bit about our process for applications. And Anya, back to you.
Thank you. So, we hope you find our application process really straightforward. Although we don't necessarily have the vacancies advertised on a regular basis, I really encourage you to keep an eye on our website and also to add yourself, add your interest to our speculative database. I guess it's very important to say that we don't ask for any CVs. You can provide your CV if you have one, but it's not essential, and it will never disqualify you from going through the process. What's really important to us is your right attitude for learning. So there is a very short application that we're going to ask you to fill in with a few questions that you can answer in your own time and put it through the process. Now, if I can ask for another slide, why join a PPF? So I do hope that from this short presentation, you have made you got a little bit more interested in working with us. We are really interested in local talent and giving opportunities to the community around us. And as you can see on the slide, there are certain highlights that as a benefits that we really want you to pick up. But apart from these, I would really like to highlight that we pay very competitively comparing to the rest of the market. Now, so one more time, I would really like to encourage you to visit our website, where you will find really much more information and about us and about our culture. There is a wonderful short video that we've recorded to help you understand a little bit more about us and what really makes us who we are. So follow us on Twitter, follow us on Facebook and Instagram. The vacancies are coming as we go along, and that would be all from us, I think. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
That's great. Thank you very much. I invite our other panelists to open back up their videos now. That's really interesting. I have a few questions from me. I mean, obviously, in many ways, your apprenticeship journey is still quite new. You say 2018 was the first time that you'd considered taking on an apprentice. Yeah. And by the sounds of it, it's a growing need. Would that be right, Sharon?
I would definitely say so, Catherine. And I think that for us, we were brand new to apprentices in 2018, and it definitely kind of took a while for us to understand what they mean and bust some of those myths that we've been talking about and really kind of get the business on board. But what we've seen over the last few years is that people are really getting on board, and we've got people kind of coming to us all the time saying we'd love an apprentice in this area. So really opening the minds to what great opportunities apprentices are, really.
So how do, timing wise, and it's a question really which I'll probably throw back to Angela as well, but timing wise for PPF, is it an ongoing annual cycle? Are there certain times of the year? How does it work in terms of what vacancies might come up?
Yeah, it's a good question. And I think with the COVID situation, that's definitely made us have to rethink our timing, because the challenge that we had is we had a number of areas that we really wanted to go out and, give that vacancy the space it needed. But for us, it's all about kind of the onboarding process. How do you bring somebody into a business when everyone's working remotely? So that's been a bit of a challenge for us. In a normal situation, we do look at apprentices through the year. And for us, because they're doing such real jobs, we want to make sure they actually fit in well with the cycle of the business as well. So, but we also are very mindful of key times within the academic year as well. So when people will be getting their GCSEs or A-level results, or in January is always a good time to put a vacancy out there, because people have a rethink about what they want to do. So we kind of look at all different timings. But if anyone's interested, as Anya said, if you can register your interest to our website, we actually keep a database of those people. When vacancies come up, we proactively look at those people. So.
And I know we're going to move on to this in terms of, I think, what Gail and Nishanda are going to talk about, but obviously also your relationship with the college, because presumably John and the team will have, equally, the candidate could come directly to the college and say, I'm interested, what is there out there? And John, do you want to just pick up on that? Presumably the message is also, yes, obviously do go directly to PPF or indeed to Clarion or anyone else, but equally engage directly with the college.
Yes, of course we can, yes. We tend to advertise, Sharon and our team tend to send them across to us and actually Croydon Work. So you can actually access from 3 different points as well. And we all collaborate and do our screenings and interviews and applications together.
Yeah. So just coming back to you then, Angela, what's your timing line and how has that been affected through COVID-19?
Ours are when they come up.
Right.
Unless we spoke about it on Tuesday, but so with trade apprenticeships, we always try to do kind of our responsive repair ones around about September time, because it kind of makes a lot of sense. But because following on what Sharon said, because they're real roles, they're roles that a team is going, I need this person. We don't just go, oh, let's just wait a few months, because they're needed. So it's on an ad hoc basis. They're always on our website, and when they all come up, I always let Croydon College know as well, because as provider. But we've the ad hoc. I'm trying to streamline the process.
Yeah. So again, I guess the message, if you're watching, is to literally stay alert. Yeah. Because if you know that you want to get an apprenticeship, there's no particular time of the year. Well, there's probably peaks and troughs, but generally speaking, it's an ongoing process, and there's live situations coming on all the time. So that's.
Sorry, Catherine, just add that I think with the COVID situation, I think for us personally, I'm not sure about for PPF, but we should have been recruiting already now for September starts, and because everything's been put back, Christmas is not going to be quiet. Whereas before, you would expect, there won't be many vacancies up, it's Christmas. Christmas is not going to be business as usual for us. So right. A lot of our roles, they'll be looking at, we'll go live in January. So it will be keep looking kind of like begin and middle of autumn to especially throughout Christmas. It's not going to be a downtime, I think, for us personally.
What we know, unfortunately, is there are going to be a lot of people of all ages going to be in need of employment, sadly, because of COVID-19. So there's going to be an increased requirement, as really probably as of now, but certainly potentially growing, which is obviously another reason why the Chancellor's brought in this incentive. Thank you. We'll come back to you, I'm sure, a little bit later on. But Gail, just coming over to you now, your role is to assist and help all of these people in through the college. I'm going to share my screen. Hopefully you'll be able to see it. Is that working for everybody this time round? Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, over to you, Gail.
Right, I work at Croydon College and I've worked there for a number of years in the apprenticeship department, and I have to say I love my job. I'm really lucky to work with apprentices and with the apprenticeship department. But today I'm going to give you an overview of what an apprenticeship is, how it is delivered and what sort of courses are available, and to find out, to a link where you can go and look at the different standards that there are. Next slide, please. Right, so an apprenticeship is a different form of education. It is still education, and you are classed as being in education. It's much more, as we've said, it's much more on the job, as we say. You will be working in a full-time role, apart from one day where you will be attending college. There are industry recognised pathways for future development, and even now some apprenticeships give UCAS points as well. So if you're thinking of future, then you can do an apprenticeship and still go to or do a degree at a future date. There also are degree apprenticeships that you can do, which go up to level 7. So how it works is you will be employed on a full-time basis. As we said, some of the salaries out there are really good, some are not so good, but we do encourage employers to try and pay at least the minimum wage, or if not the living wage. Within the apprenticeship, there's 3 areas that you will be covering. There's skills, knowledge and behaviour. The skills you should be learning with your employer at work. So they're all the things like, sending emails within business, how to write a letter. The college bit, where you will be attending either a day or a half day, will be the knowledge area. So that's why your email must look good and sound good and have the right language in. And behaviours, again, a lot of behaviours hopefully you will have already, but within the apprenticeship you need to enhance these behaviours, like timekeeping, or you need to demonstrate them. As you said, there are high level qualifications within apprenticeships now, going right up to level 7, and also there are areas where you can get a sector industry specified qualification, like CIP. You can become a member of the CIPD, or you can become a member of the HR and also marketing executive. You can join the marketing board or whatever it is. Apprenticeships end with an endpoint assessment, something you will be familiar with when you're doing your GCSEs or even A levels. It's like an exam right at the end. So you spend all year or 18 months leading up to this point, and then you will have an endpoint assessment, which usually is made up of a professional discussion. So having a discussion with your endpoint assessor, showing a PowerPoint presentation. So within customer service, you have to deliver a presentation. Within business admin, you have to deliver a project. You have to show the endpoint assessor a project that you've worked on, and in some cases you also have to do a knowledge test. And again, these are graded, fail, pass, merit and distinction. At Croydon we aim for distinction though. Next slide. Right, apprenticeships are, we do our apprenticeships really around the employer. So some of my learners come to college, or they did come to college every week. We're having Zoom lessons and telephone calls at the moment instead. But usually some of my apprentices come, however some don't, and I go to them. So some of my apprentices, I go out to the workplace and see them in their places of work. Like I've got some apprentices in Stratford, so I go over to Stratford and meet them. So it's not always coming into college. All the assessors, all my assessors under me, have worked in industry, so they all come from a background. So the accountancy assessor was an accountant. What else? I've been a PA in my previous life, so I know lots about business admin, and we're also here to support your role with your employers. So we have regular what we call progress reviews. So every 8 weeks we'll make contact with yourself and your employer to make sure that you're getting on and make sure that you're happy, and making sure that you're able to understand all the information that you've been given from your tutors and your assessors. Exam preparation, because it is an endpoint assessment now, we do put into place lots of practice. So you're having practice discussions, you'll have practice sharing your project, hopefully not just with your assessor, but also with your manager as well. And we're also encouraging practicing mock tests and others, and sort of all practice material and for you to complete. And of course, we offer lots of individual support and guidance. So if you have any special needs at all or learning difficulties, we have 2 dedicated work-based learner special, what they're called, ALS, additional learning support people now. So we are really, really excel in that area now. Right, we run lots of different apprenticeships. We run the business admin level 3, which I'm an assessor on, and business admin is great. I've always loved working in an office, to be fair, and now working in the college. Business admin is a great tool to get into any industry. If you want to get into an industry and you can't find another way to get into it, say like advertising, go in as admin person and work your way up, because once you're in, it's really, and you've proved yourself, that a company will progress you. So it's a really good way to get in. Customer service we're doing now. There's no business admin level 3, so what we're doing is customer service level 3, but with an admin pathway. So for employers that sort of think, oh, customer service, but we're also looking at to do the business admin level 2 diploma within the customer service level 2 as well. So it will combine customer service and business admin, so you'll get 2 qualifications for the price of 1 being. The AAT level 2, 3 and 4. It's a great way to do accountancy. If you don't want to go to university, end up with loads of debt, you know, which accountants are very shrewd normally, but they don't want to get all that, have to owe all that money. So come to Croydon College, do your apprenticeship with us. We will hopefully find employment, or if you can find your own employment, that's great. And again, you can progress to level 2, go through level 2, level 3 and level 4 and become a qualified accountant and owe no money and be earning very good money. I've just had 2 apprentices finishing their level 3 and now they've been offered really good jobs. Right. Payroll assistant, obviously we'll be doing that, and HR assistant, that's a new one we're doing at the moment, and we've got several people starting on that. So again, it's a great way into HR and to become a member of the CIPD, and again to progress up until a manager level really. Team leader for lots of people who have started to progress but have not really been shown properly how to lead. So some people just go into the role without actually any training. So it's a really good one for progressing within companies. And obviously we're doing the leadership and management level 5, which is a quite hard management qualification. Next slide, please. Right, for anyone who's interested in looking at the different standards there, this is the link. And if you go onto this link, it will show you every single standard there is. So it's a search tool as well. So if you just wanted to look up customer service, you just type customer service in the search bar and that will come up and it will tell you everything you need to know, what you need, what you're covering. And it will offer the assessment plan, which gives an in-depth synopsis of what you need to cover. That's it.
Great, thank you very much. Thanks, Gail. I've got a couple of things that I just wanted to sort of emphasise for just to help the people that are watching this. First of all, just picking up on the fact that obviously you can do in a degree level apprenticeship, which maybe not everyone realises. So when you talk about grades, levels, you're really talking about coming in with very few qualifications, I'm presuming at level 2. Going up to the highest level of qualification. And I guess some people might be a bit put off by all these talks about levels. So I guess the message really is there's something for everybody, and whatever your level or wherever you are currently with regards to your educational up till now, there is that right? Just talk a bit more about the levels.
Yeah, so level 2, if people are worrying about not getting the GCSE grades that they really thought they might, or they hadn't quite applied themselves, or because there was no actual endpoint exam this year and they hadn't. And some people work right to the last minute. I'm a bit of a lastminute.com person, and so they would, I'll wait a minute, then I'll really work hard, but they haven't had that opportunity to do that, so they might not attain the grades they really could. So if they don't, we can at Croydon College in the apprenticeship, they can take their functional skills level 2 or 3, or level 1, 2 or 3, and so they're equivalent to GCSEs. So if anyone is worried about not achieving their English and maths, we will redo them with them. More mature people who want to get into a different industry can sort of go up into, and who have some background information in different areas, can go on to high levels. So level 2 level 3 is equivalent to GCSEs really. Level 3 is equivalent to A levels. Level 4 is a sort of foundation. Level 5 is sort of foundation degrees, and it goes up to level 7, which is a degree.
So really something for everyone, even as you say,
something for everyone.
In this current climate, if you are worried that you aren't going to get the qualifications for whatever reason, it doesn't stop you entering the world and being an apprentice. It doesn't cost an apprentice to be an apprentice, so there are no tutoring fees, unlike going on to some other higher education or whatever. There is no cost. You get paid to be an apprentice. Worth, I think, emphasising that. And I just wanted to pick up on the UCAS points, because I'm thinking at the moment, there's probably a lot of people thinking, is this the year that they want to go away to university? Do they want to defer that? And what are they going to do in their year off? And you know, just to emphasize that they could do an apprenticeship in their year off, which would obviously help then when they came to apply to do a university degree in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. If they wanted to do a level 2 in customer service before they go off to university, then they would be able to get a job, hopefully while they're at uni within the area. I had one young lady once that she did a business admin and decided to go to uni, and she wanted to get into forensics. So I said to her, well, go and get a job in the local police station in the admin department. So, you know, and that's another way in to that area. And
all part of building up your sort of almost your CV in readiness for when you then decide that it is the right time to take that step and move on to a university degree, will enhance your opportunity to get you probably onto the right.
Absolutely.
And as you say, give you the opportunity to then earn still while at university, because you have some sort of qualification. And the last point is this point around existing people in companies, and I don't know whether either PPF or Clarion want to pick up on this point, but you know, you cannot be in employment. I'm really interested to hear about like the team leader and the leadership management courses, because there will be many companies that may well you know, be wanting to invest in their people by giving them some additional training to encourage them to move up, and also to encourage them to stay, investing in them to encourage them to stay with their companies. And maybe not everyone realizes that you can do that through an apprenticeship. You don't have to go down, I guess, what would be the more traditional route of thinking you need to send somebody away on a very expensive training course. Angela, do you want to just pick up on that?
Within Clarion, we have every year, and we have the opportunity to apply for professional development. So we have to put together a case saying what course we want to do. But as a rule, there are some either specific courses relating to your job role that we will then, the learning development team will talk to you about the various apprenticeships for that. Or there are the managerial courses that everyone will do through an apprenticeship. So whether it is the team leading 3 or going up to the level 5 or even the level 7. And it's open every year to all staff. All staff, as long as you've been with us, you've passed your probation. And if you're an apprentice, I wouldn't apply personally, because you aren't going to do 2 courses at once. You'll be a little bit bonkers. But it's open to everyone. So yeah, apprenticeship's a brilliant way of going, well, I've started doing business admin, I now want to do finance. Okay. Let's go and do finance.
And the funding that Rishi announced last night can be used towards that, can't it? So it isn't just for someone entering into a new apprentice. Is that right?
No, I think it is only for news.
Okay, so you can't apply it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Plus, as a levy payer, it's no here nor there. We've got the funds to do that, and we'd rather spend it on upskilling. So.
Where PPF's concerned, whether Anya, do you just want to? I mean, I guess it is still quite new for you, but have you actually moved into looking at using apprenticeships to skill existing staff at all?
Oh yes, absolutely. So I'm sure Sharon would be more open to talk about this. She loves talking about apprenticeship, but we have definitely moved, and we have the apprenticeship from various levels, from lower level 2s, 3s to level 7, and definitely looking into expanding those levels and expanding the apprenticeships around managers and for managers. Yes.
Right, Sharon,
definitely.
to add to that?
All I was going to say is, yeah, we definitely, when we first started, I think it was about 50-50 on upskilling people to new apprentices coming in. We've got current employers doing level 7 accountancy apprenticeships, which is, you know, it's pretty, that's the highest level you can get. Really great. And HR kind of consultant type apprenticeships as well, level 5, that's current employees. So I think it's, definitely shifting the approach and attitude towards apprenticeships.
Great, fantastic, thank you. Well, you've heard from our employers, you heard from Gail and John about the exactly how you go about it and what it all means. I guess most importantly now we need to finish up by telling you how you can actually register to apply. and how the college can help you through that. So I'd like to introduce you to Lashanda. Now, Lashanda is very importantly an ex-apprentice. She's been there and done it. She's got the T-shirt. She joined Croydon College in an apprenticeship position and is now a permanent employee. So she's a really good example of how apprenticeships can work. And I'm delighted to also say that as of right now, she should be being awarded right now an award. She has won an award for outstanding service. So I think, full credit and well done, Lashanda, for all the hard work that you've done. And we're delighted that you're now going to talk us through the next steps. So over to you.
All right. Well, hello, everyone. My name is Lashanda. I'm currently an assistant skills advisor at Croydon College. And I'm just going to talk you through the whole application process. So just to get you started on your journey to getting an apprenticeship. So next slide, please. So in order to apply for any of our apprenticeship job vacancies, you must apply directly through the Croydon College website. I have included a link there, and you can also apply on the National Apprenticeship website. Whenever you do apply, please ensure that you complete the questions in as much detail as possible. If you would like any help before you apply, please don't hesitate to email me.
Sorry,
yeah.
My fault. Go ahead.
So once you send your application through the Croydon College website, your application will get reviewed, shortlisted, and then either I will call you or maybe one of my colleagues will call you and go through a short phone interview. After that phone interview, you'll be invited to the college or maybe to an online initial assessment, especially considering the time that we're in now. Go through the online initial assessment, you'll be asked to present a few documents. And if you're a person who don't have your math and English GCSEs, or you don't have the required C or 4 and above, then you'll be expected to do a math and English assessment with us. So you can do math and English along your apprenticeship course. After the initial assessment, we'll send your CV and cover letter over to the employer. The employer has to confirm with us whether or not they'll like to go through an interview with you. Once that has been confirmed, we'll arrange that interview for you. Once you've been selected for an interview, you also have the option of going through a mock interview with one of us, so we can help you as much as we can. And after that interview, the employer has the final decision of whether or not they'll like to hire you as an apprentice. But if you are unsuccessful in getting that opportunity, we will try and support you with any other apprenticeship opportunities in the near future. Next slide, please. So whenever you are ready to apply for any of our apprenticeship job vacancies, please ensure that you attach an updated version of your CV. If you're a person who may not have a lot of work experience, it may be a really good idea to include a cover letter, just so you can show how passionate you are about this apprenticeship role and what makes you the best candidate for this apprenticeship. If you are selected for an interview, please be aware that we will go through a mock interview if that's something that you would want. If you don't feel as confident about going into the interview just like that, we'll give you any advice that you need. Make sure when you have an email address that it is an appropriate email address, preferably your first name, last name, and then maybe hotmail.co.uk. And make sure your contact details on your application are correct so we can contact you. And here is our weekly updated vacancy list. So every Monday our vacancies are updated. So some of the apprenticeship job vacancies that we have now, we do actually have a business admin apprenticeship that's actively recruiting now. So it's a school administration role. So if you are really ready to get started on this apprenticeship now, please apply. But if you do want any additional support, or if you have any questions, just email us and I can get back to you as soon as I can.
Thank you very much. I think that the main message through all of that is that the college is here to support you. And yes, I think I'm right in saying that you do need to go on and actually register your interest to be an apprentice. That is a little bit of bureaucracy that has to happen, and you can do that via those two links. But that, very much after you've done that, the team at Croydon College and obviously at the businesses represented are here to help you and handhold you through it, because it can be quite confusing. And I guess also you might not know exactly what type of vacancy you're looking for or what might be best suited to your experience. And also I think it's worth adding that I believe those vacancies are just the sort of a flavour of what's out there, and there may well be lots of other vacancies that are being discussed and that are coming online. So it's not, it's just to really say that there will be, an ongoing hand-holding with anybody who is interested. And for those of you that are watching live, we will be reaching out to you separately to check that you have all the information that you need, that you might want some additional information, and we will be trying to work with you to take you through this process to enable you to get an apprenticeship as quickly as possible. John, what is the sort of usual timeline in terms of, from start to finish? How quickly can someone from starting showing an interest actually end up in a position?
To physically start, it can be as quick as 2 or 3 weeks. It can be as quick as that. Some processes take a bit longer. Say if you were joining an educational facility like a junior school or a primary school, because you have to get certain things in line first and things like that. So we have to wait on DBSs and things coming back before you're allowed access. So these can slow up the process. But generally 2 to 3 weeks is the quickest we can work.
Okay, that's great. Just the final word coming both to PPF and to Angela. Obviously, COVID-19 is obviously a disruptive element. It's also an opportunity because we've heard that the government are throwing more money at it. And for you as Clarion, coming to you first, Angela, you have touched upon this, but there's still opportunities out there. It's not stopped, and you're currently looking actively to recruit.
Yeah, it's not stopped. It's probably slowed down slightly because we're trying to work out the logistics of interviewing over webinars, and also just the notion of really supporting the apprentice when they come on board. If none of us are in an office with them, how are we doing that? So it's kind of just working those logistics out. But the vacancies we've got are still, our HR department have told us that not just apprenticeships, all vacancies, they've got 175 just sitting waiting.
Wow, amazing. When you think a lot of people that are unemployed and there's 175 vacancies. So that's a really positive message. Anya, Sharon, coming to you, final few words from a PPF perspective. Sharon, kick off.
I was going to say, I probably wouldn't say we've got as many vacancies as Angela's example, but I would say if you're unsure and you definitely want to look into apprenticeships, I would say in the first instance, get in touch with Croydon College, because I think they'll be able to give you some great advice as to what kind of areas you might want to go into. I think definitely be proactive at this point, because as much as Angela said, we're on hold at the moment, but things will speed up quite soon. And, I think it's really a good time for you to be proactive and to look at websites, get in touch with the college and start having those conversations.
Yeah, that's right. Anything you want to add, Anya?
Not in particular. As I said before, really, really great to encourage you to go on the particular company's websites, like our website here, and learn a little bit more about the company. That also will give you some flavor of what you might be interested in. Check those applications on our website and see, the questions are really simple, easy to answer, and you might already put yourself into that database for the apprenticeship that are coming ahead.
Good. Well, I think it's been a really positive message this afternoon about how Croydon College is working in partnership with local businesses and national businesses to bring local people into employment. I think the other takeaway from this afternoon is it's for any age. Do not feel that you have to be a school leaver or you don't have to. You can be in a job. Apprenticeships are for everybody. It is a great opportunity to earn while you learn. There will be no student debts or finances to worry about. And right at the moment, that's probably a really big consideration for people. And I think we've heard, really positively that it's a real career pathway. And just because you enter in a business finance or whatever, it can lead to many, many other careers. So it's been fantastic to hear from you all today. Thank you so much to PPF, to Clarion and the team at Croydon College. Just to say to anybody that's watching, you will have a follow-up call from the college just to check that you've got everything you need, and hopefully to encourage and handhold you through to actually getting an apprentice. Please share this, those of you watching, with others. This will be going on to the Croydon College website for people to watch. And I just also want to mention that on a Wednesday, currently between 2 and 4 p.m, Croydon College is offering a free online virtual advice clinic. You can literally just pop into the Zoom virtual room. There'll be people on hand to talk to you about what your query might be, and that could be anything relating to any element of education, but apprenticeships included. So if you've got further queries, Wednesday between 2 and 4 is a good time to pop in and ask those questions. These are strange times. Normally we'd be saying pop into the front door of your local college and there'll be somebody there, but we can do it virtually. So thank you to everybody for taking part. We're back tomorrow afternoon. No, we're not. We're back very soon, actually. Within half an hour, we're back doing another webinar, and that's about IT and digital. So we'll be hearing from some of these people and a few others. So if you want to rejoin us, do join us for the next webinar that's following. But for now, thank you all to everybody, and we hope to see you all soon. Thanks very much for taking part.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you. Bye.